Hey guys, I just got done with this build, so I'm going to make a quick video just kind of demoing it and detailing what all went into it. This is a very labor intensive build. If I had to estimate how many hours I put into building this thing, it would be about 20 to 25, but this is also my first build with an actual proper 3D printed chassis. This is the same one that I put in there because they had to send me another one because they forgot to give me one of the switch plungers with the chassis, and without that you wouldn't be able to push the one of the switches in, so you kind of have to have that. So I have another chassis, so that's what it looks like. But anyways, I decided to do a neopixel build on this because I absolutely love neopixels, and that's probably the main reason why this took so long. That and probably me using 22 gauge wire, and had I known that the battery that this came with from Solosold was wired with 24 gauge, I probably just would have used 24, but I only had 22 on hand anyways, so I kind of had to. It was either that or 26, so I decided to try my luck with the 22. And trying to route the 22 gauge wire through all of the little I don't know if you can see it or not, the little wire routing loops down there below the where the charging port and switch go. I was barely able to cram 3 of those wires through for power for the recharge port, but I did finally get it after many hours of trying and trying different methods to go through there and trying to pull it through and whatnot. So there were some points where I thought that I was going to have to just scrap the whole thing and use smaller wire, but somehow I got it in there and I got it built, but it did take me a long time. So for the neopixels, if you know anything about the Imperial Knights, you'll know that they use, or that their sabers have a white blade. Well, in order to get a white blade from neopixels, from just regular RGB neopixels, you would have to pretty much have all the colors on at once to have a white color. And in doing that, you're probably going to be pulling about close to 9.5 amps, I think, is what Dimitri kind of estimated, I believe. I'll have to look at the chart again, but I think that's about right. And I didn't want to do that, but I did discover that they had a white amber neopixel strip that you could use, which was compatible with RGB controllers. So there's cool white, there's warm white, and then there's amber, so WWA. So if you ever see a SK6812-WWA, that's what that means. But it's got a 3120 milliamp battery that Dimitri and everybody recommends for the neopixel build, since towards the whenever it gets, I guess, towards the end of its capacity, it is able to keep the blade a little bit brighter than other batteries, and it's a 15 amp drain battery. And this has got a Prizm 5.1 in it. Here, I'll show you the internals here. Undo the greebly. Oh, I'm gonna go the other way. Let me get a flashlight here to show you. So there's the Prizm. Not a lot of wiring. I didn't want like any kind of crazy accent LEDs or anything, but basically what I had to do to get this to become a neopixel build is at first I thought I was going to be clever and attach the custom Saber Shop hilt side, or yeah, the hilt side adapter to the end of this, so that I could just slide it in and have it be one, just like one piece, like some people do with just the Tricree heat sinks. But unfortunately, whenever I got this all, and I got it attached and everything, and it was good to go, and I had measured everything, I tried to slide it in there, and unfortunately the switch plungers would not allow it to go, would not allow the hilt adapter, the neopixel hilt adapter, to go past it, since the switch plungers go in these little grooves right here that you have to line them up with. I'm sorry, I'm not lined up here. They have to go into these those little notches right there, and there's little holes that tell you where to put the switch on top of, so you know where to line it up at. So I had to scrap that idea and figure out a way to where I could pull the adapter through the blade side, and then put the chassis in through the bottom and connect them. And I didn't want them to be soldered on there like that, since if I needed to take it out, I couldn't take it out fully because the switch plungers wouldn't allow the hilt side adapter to come out. So I just ended up using a one of the 3-prong adapters that the pixels come with, and I put the female side on the hilt and the male side on the adapter. I kind of cut some stuff off and trimmed it down a little bit to make it a little bit less bulky, and cut the clip, the actual clip piece off, since I knew that I wouldn't be taking it in and out very much, and it holds just fine without the clip anyways. So so that was the way that I determined on how to get it to become a to get it to accept a neopixel build. But and this thing is a fingerprint magnet. Beautiful hilt, but man, it is a fingerprint magnet. That's why I'm wearing this. That's why I'm wearing a glove on my left hand, so that when I hold it and show you the colors, I'm not touching it. So let me put this back, and it's also got this. I don't really have much room here, and I've got the blade in there, but Shamim and a couple of other people have done a video on this hilt and what all it comes with. But there's a little greebly that at the bottom that you undo, that holds the shroud piece over the main black inner core part, so that the shroud can rotate when you undo it and expose the parts in there, like I just showed you earlier. So anyways, let me turn this on. This has also got a 24 millimeter Adrian Tan speaker inside of it, since that's the size that the chassis has to take to for a speaker. It couldn't do a 28 millimeter. Let me scoot the camera over here just a little.
I fear nothing. All is as the Force wills it.
Put the pommel on here, and okay. I think I just have it on white right now, but we can rotate through all the colors. Alright, here we go. Actually, let me turn the light off. And I did trim down the strips a little bit. I only did one side to kind of make them about 9-ish millimeters wide. and that does definitely help with the vertical shadowing too. So let's change colors here. And this is in a trans white blade, since I figured the trans white blade would be alright with a white colored saber blade. I don't usually do those, I usually do the clear ones, but oops. Damn it. The plungers are very, very low. I mean, they match the black perfectly, and they're so small that you can barely see them if you don't have any light in the room that you're in. And I think that's back to white. So, and the blade holder in this thing is extremely tight. The trans white blade, I had to sand down a whole bunch to get it to fit in there, inside and out, because when I had the blade side adapter put in there, it was so tight that it was pushing the blade out, and it wouldn't go into the actual the hilt. So I had to sand both the inside and the outside on the bottom, just so that it would actually go into the hilt. The clear one went in fine, but the white one is just barely thicker than the clear one, I guess, because without anything in it, the clear one went in fine without any kind of sanding, and the white one, without any kind of sanding, without anything in it, it would barely go in there. I'd have to kind of twist and force it in there, so I ended up having to sand it a whole bunch. But yeah, that's my my build. I'm pretty happy with it. I had a lot of issues with the data line. The colors were going all crazy for a little bit, but I finally got that fixed, and now it's behaving pretty well. So, and actually, I did. Funny story. I ordered a bunch of 330 ohm resistors from SparkFun late last year, because they were on sale or something. It was like 20 of them, and they were a 6 watt 330 ohm resistors, and I thought that'd be perfect for the data line for another neopixel build or builds. And so I got the bag in, and I just kind of tossed it aside, since I already had a couple of them from Custom Saber Shop. And for this build, I didn't have any more, so I pulled one out of this bag, and I used that. And the data line was kind of going crazy. I don't know if it was because of the resistor, actually, or if there was some kind of wiring issue, but I looked on the bag, and it said it was only 100 ohms. So they sent me the wrong product. I didn't see that until I actually had to use the bag, but I had to rip one out of an older neopixel build that I had until I get some more in from the Custom Saber Shop. So hopefully those come in on Monday or Tuesday, and I can get that other build up and going off my bench. But overall, it's really nice hilt, guys. Like, I love the Imperial hilt. It's a very nice, elegant, simplistic looking hilt, and I'm definitely a sucker for it. I always wanted one of the Silver Knights from Saberforge, but they went away just as I was getting into this hobby. But now I don't even think twice about the Silver Knight. I think it's actually kind of ugly compared to this one, actually. So, and at a very fair price too, about $220, $230 if you got in on the pre-order. Also, the blade, I forgot to tell you guys, the blade has got about 240 LEDs, 120 on each side. I still have to drill out the tip, and I don't have one facing upwards to illuminate the tip like I normally do. I still have to do that. I just wanted to get this wired up and make sure it was working before I did anything like that. But yeah, fun build. A lot of time sunk into it. I wish that I could have a bigger battery in this, but you know, that's the best that we got right now. But anyways, so yeah, if you guys have any questions, just leave it in the comments and I'll answer them for you.